Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning into another Supatease video, and I've got another round of 9.2 news updates. In this one, we've got new PvP maps, we have new PvP trinkets, and we have some tier set bonuses that were missed in my previous list of tier bonuses. I will be covering the tier bonuses for Druid, Priest, and Death Knight, and if you missed the other bonuses that were covered, I will have a link to that video at the end of this one. Again, this channel is a great resource for improving your experience in World of Warcraft and also potentially intriguing or piquing your interest in it in the future if you have left at this time. So I do recommend hitting the subscribe button so that these news videos are always notified to you directly, and you can pique your interest whenever you would like to. But without further ado, let's begin here. So in 9.2, we're going to be getting two new arena maps. The first one is the Maldraxxus Coliseum, and I was actually kind of a little bit dumbfounded at the start of the expansion that this wasn't an arena map, because it's literally an arena in the lore itself, and it actually is going to finally be becoming one. It looks like it's going to be a miniature Ashamane's Fall. As you can see, you've got starting areas here, like little alclaves with 3 pillars to move around. This is going to be a melee cleave haven, I would imagine, very similar to Hook Point in that regard. Reasonably well balanced with the 3 pillars, but again, because of its small map size, nice opportunities to maybe lay some traps. I've yet to see a lot of players really exploiting these types of areas, these little starting cubby holes, baiting people in and then trapping them with Ring of Peace, trapping them with Ice Wall, trapping them with some of the new honor talents for Boomkin that drop bombs on the ground that you can pick up and explode. I think that the abuse of these kind of little rectangular starting areas has not been fully maximized. I think it looks like it's a pretty well balanced map. A little favor towards melee DPS. I'm pretty happy with it. The next one is a super controversial map. We're going to be looking at the Enigma Arena. And the Enigma Arena, you first look at it and you're like, wait, there's no pillars. It's just flat. There's nothing. What's going on? There's a couple starting rooms and there's nothing. And that's because you build the pillars. Now, we have yet to see what the pillars look like. Can you control where they go? Is it random different shapes every time? Where's the button? It looks like the button is kind of in the middle of the arena. How are people going to play this map? I'm a bit worried that it's just going to be both teams run at each other and don't even press the button. But maybe not, and it really depends on what the walls look like. And this is something that I'll have to test once the PTR becomes live to try and get in there. There's so much stuff on the PTR that I actually want to be able to check out myself. So if you want to see that type of content, again, make sure you're subscribed. But this map, it's really out there. Like, this has never been done before. It's going to be controversial. Might end up being the most amazing thing ever. Might end up falling on its face. I'm interested to see that they took such a dramatic shift with this map. It's completely new. We've never seen something like this. Almost like you're maybe playing Fortnite or something, building your own walls around the map to try and line of sight or cut off a healer from healing their ally or something. I'm interested. It's piqued my curiosity. That it could end up in rage or it could end up in praise. But either way, we are getting 2 new arena maps. And now something interestingly enough that I had to dig through a lot of stuff to find. This was super hard to find, took a lot of digging. Is that there are new PvP trinkets. I think I'm going to have to shove this over a little bit so you can see them. They're hidden in the text here. We've got Gladiator's Devouring Malediction. So I'm assuming that this is similar to the current Malediction, which is drain up to 0 absorption from all nearby enemies over 3 seconds, and then unleash it in a 15-yard cone in front of you as healing absorption. 3-second cast, channel, 2-minute cooldown. But the way that it sounds is it drains absorption. So it only is going to drain shields from enemy players, like Powered Shield, Life Cocoon, sorry, monks. There's a couple of absorbs on conduits and stuff like that. Mages. This allows you to suck all of the shields off a mage, maybe. And maybe this is a counter to Fleshcraft. They want to have a counter to Fleshcraft with how many people are going Necrolord now. But it looks like you'll just slurp up that absorb and then you just spit it back on them and it'll absorb healing on them instead. 2-minute cooldown seems a little bit difficult to pull off. I would imagine that you can CC it because it's channeled over 3 seconds. 3 seconds is a long time to react to it happening as well. So maybe it won't see too much use. The next trinket that I think is going to be really problematic, I'm not excited to see whatsoever, is this one called Gladiator's Eternal Aegis. Activate the defenses, absorbing 50% of all damage taken up to 0. These numbers will change, right? Persisting for a minute. And then the cosmic damage is fully absorbed. What is a cosmic damage? I don't know what that is. It's a 2-minute cooldown. Never been a fan of these shield trinkets. These two trinkets feel like they're supposed to like interact with each other. Like if someone's wearing an Aegis and you're wearing the Malediction, you counter them or something, and you just have to line it up. So maybe, I don't know if it's trying to force that, but not a big fan of the shield ones. Usually these end up being the only ones people play with, and they just make the games really long. Not a super big fan of this one. At least you'll be able to get it from PvP. There's been trinkets similar to this in the past that you could only get from PvE, but not super excited about this one. Hoping this one kind of gets benched. And now finally, the Gladiator's Resonator. Throw the Cosmic Resonator, which explodes after 4 seconds. So it looks like a trap you have to throw on the ground, dealing cosmic damage split between all nearby enemies. The damage is increased for each enemy struck up to 5 enemies. 30-yard range, instant, 3-minute cooldown. Probably going to end up like a rogue mage boom boom button, you know, like you kidney shot someone, you don't have combust, everybody throw their cosmic resonators and boom boom. Maybe it's like the spite trinket, but just only damage. And then again, this seems like the trinkets are supposed to counter each other. The Aegis could absorb the cosmic resonators or something. Seems like these trinkets are all supposed to directly interact with each other. I like it more because it does damage, but I think this will be very abusive as rogue mage or comps that can actually hold the target down. Maybe Windwalker DK if you're gripping people together, or just a Death Knight comp in general. Maybe this makes Death Knight more viable. You grip all the targets together, and we'll cover the Death Knight set bonuses right after this. Grip all the targets together, throw that Resonator down. Oh my god. Okay, maybe that's actually insane for Death Knights too. All right, we're going to have to wait and see it play out. I like that one more than the shield one. Don't like this Aegis one. Would rather see it benched at this moment in time at least. But let's start looking at the set bonuses. And right now we've got Priest coming up first. For Discipline, we have the 2 set bonus being casting Power Word Shield or Shadow Mend has a 15% chance to make your Shadow Mend have no cost or cast time. That's nuts for you in PvP. PvE, I don't know how often you're using Shadow Mend. Probably Atonement Healing only, but in PvP, this is the first time I've seen a healer set bonus that I'm like, that's pretty pog. 4 set bonus is Manifested Twilight. Power of the Dark Side increases the effectiveness of Penance by an additional 45% and is triggered when Power Word Radiance is cast. So if you're playing that instant Radiance build, maybe running the Legendary for even the extra Penance damage that I think is out there, you get these big nuke penances with these emergency free Shadow Mends for all the mana you'll spend from using Radiance. I think Discipline Priest may be one of the big winners for healers. I mean, this set bonus as a healer makes me really want to play a Disc Priest at least. The other healers, it was just like, meh. And again, for PvE, this will probably benefit you because it will assist with your Atonement Healing on the 4 set, not so much the 2 set. Holy Priest, let's see, can you compete? 2 set bonus. Your Holy Words begin Divine Conversation, increasing the cooldown reduction of your next Holy Word affecting spell by 15 seconds. Isn't that just already an existing passive for them? So you just get to super passive, get your Holy Words even back even faster. That's pretty good. In PvP, that's going to get you a lot of Serenity healing. It's going to get you a lot of big nuke healing. So that's honestly very good. Your 4 set bonus, Divine Conversation, increases the effectiveness of your next Holy Word affecting spell and increases the healing of it. Okay, these are pretty close to competing with each other. Priest set bonus for healing looking really strong right now in PvP. PvE, again, really hard to dictate because there's so many things that could also happen in PvE, but I'm looking at the similar trends for PvP that I know the types of tropes and archetypes that end up being good in PvP. These are fitting pretty well into that. Free, big, instant nuke healing, massive damage, big, instant nuke healing. Like, those are never bad in PvP. So those look really good at the moment for Priest. Now for Shadow, 2 set bonus, Dark Thoughts have an additional 15% chance to trigger for each shadow damage over time effect on the target. Gotta be honest with you, don't know what Dark Thoughts are. Is that I'm assuming this is not apparitions, but getting more damage on dots that have 3 dot targets, so it's gonna be more single target nuke, which is something Shadow was kind of lacking for a while. And then 4 set bonus is consuming a Dark Thought causes your shadow to animate. Is this the instant Mind Blast proc maybe? Consuming your Dark Thoughts causes your shadow to animate for 4 seconds, or 8 seconds. Your shadow follows you, dealing damage to your target over the duration. So you're just going to have an army of pets. Yeah, I mean, if you're Necrolord, Shadow Priest, you're just going to have an army of pets, get a little bit of single target damage. Pretty good. Fits interesting into the Shadow Priest motif in my mind. I kind of like this one. Again, if you're a competitive player, you're just going to look at throughput. Does this one do more damage than the monk one? No, then it's garbage. I don't want it. But I like the way that this vibes, although we're not 100% sure on what Dark Thoughts actually is. But it's a random proc and has a 15% increased chance to trigger for every dot, so you're going to get it more often. And then you could also summon a bunch of armies on top of your target. So I think I dig that one for Shadow. Priest definitely getting some pretty cool set bonuses. Moving now to Blood DK, we're going to be looking at, again, with the tank ones in PvP, I'm looking to see is there any like ridiculous healing one-shot damage. In PvP, it's more about just mitigation. Are you able to have damage mitigation to be able to survive, or kite monsters to not even get hit in Mythic Plus, more importantly. But 2-set bonus, Heart Strike increases your strength by 1% and the duration of Dancing Rune Weapon by 0.5 seconds, persisting for 10 seconds after Dancing Rune Weapon ends. So giving you more throughput, more damage, probably going to make you insane for dueling in PvP. Again, PvP or in PvE, I think it's still a lot on the table. 4-set bonus, parrying an attack causes your weapon to lash out. Heart striking your attacker. Dancing Rune Weapon now summons 2 rune weapons that last longer. That could be a lot of damage from a Blood DK. I'm a bit worried about this one in PvP. Keep my eye on it. Frost DK, 2-set bonus. Remorseless Winter grants 8% critical strike while active. Kind of boring, but makes your combo stronger. Wonder if it would affect that Trinket, the Resonator, if it would make the Resonator crit more often as well. If it's even interacting with crit or can crit. Your 4-set bonus, Consuming Killing Machine fires a glacial advance to your target. So giving you more AoE for trash pulls is going to be helpful. In PvP, it's just extra AoE damage on your grip goes. So you can't really complain about that. Fits into the fantasy of it. A little bit bland with just being a stat towards it, but it's kind of just like middle of the pack. I don't really have any big complaints about this. It doesn't really jump off the page to me as insane. Now for Unholy DK, your 2-set, every 5 Clawing Shadows or Scourge Strikes, cast Soul Reaper on your target, so you can get more cooldown damage outside of your cooldown windows. Soul Reaper grants your pet 20% attack speed for 10 seconds. And then your 4-set, whenever Soul Reaper's secondary effect triggers, summon an army of the Dead Ghoul. Don't know how important that army of the Dead Ghoul is going to be for you. I know that you can sacrifice your minions to heal yourself on a pretty long cooldown to get an extra heal maybe in PvP, but I don't know if that's a big deal. This army of the Dead Ghoul and how much it's going to really do to mitigate damage. Great anti-convoke mechanic, at least if you're just summoning a ton of pets. Convoke going to be really good in the next patch, but this one's not really jumping off too much for me for Unholy DK. Blood DK is looking like the biggest one right there. Now Druid, the final one. I left mine for last, I guess, here. Boomkin, the 2-set bonus. Entering Lunar Eclipse, so only Lunar Eclipse, creates a Fury of a Loon at 25% effectiveness that follows your current target for 8 seconds. So that's 25% damage, 25% duration, or 25% generation of astral power. Everything? Probably everything. Umbral Infusion. While in an eclipse, the cost of Star Surge and Starfall is reduced by 20%. Now, that could have some fun synergies with legendaries that also reduce the cost of Star Surges. You could just be pumping out a lot of Star Surges with a flat 20% reduction rate. 4-set's really good. 2-set, it's kind of bland. I'll have to play with this one myself, but the 4-set is really good. Feral Druid, 2-set. Each combo point spent reduces the cooldown of Incarnation, King of the Jungle, or Berserk by 0.5 seconds. So 2 combo points is a second. 4 is 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds on 5 combo point spenders. Might be getting that down maybe to 2 minutes. Not great at math to do that calculation out. Your 4-set bonus, when Berserk ends, you lacerate all nearby enemies, dealing 700% of attack power bleed damage over 10 seconds. So now what this will mean in PvP is that the end of your Berserk is probably more threatening than the beginning of it. So often players will see Berserk and use a defensive cooldown, and then you won't do anything. But now if they use it right away, you might explode on them for this insane damage. But Lacerate's not very scary. In PvE, it seems like they're trying to give you better AoE. I know Feral's struggling at the moment in Mythic Plus. This might not do it. And interestingly enough, moving into the Guardian one, I'm almost wondering if the Guardian ones will be better for Feral. Because here you'll see casting Bark Skin causes you to Berserk for 4 seconds. And you can get conduits that reduce the cooldown of your Bark Skin. So you could just be getting these mini Berserks, mini Zerks popping off. not sure if this will make you too viable as Guardian in PvP, but I'm thinking for this as Feral. And then your 4 set is while Berserked, you radiate 45% of your attack power as cosmic damage to nearby enemies and heal yourself for 61% of that attack power every second. So you can get these mini Zerks that heal you. Might be pretty good. Might not work out too well for Feral, but this is like one of the first ones where I was like, wait, the tank one is actually going to be useful other than the warrior one that I saw. So maybe that could be useful. But for Resto Druid, the final set bonus, I know PvE players are laughing at this one, but PvP players, this is insane one. 2 set bonus is Swift Mend heals an additional amount for each periodic healing effect on the target. So Swift Mend already did a lot of healing. It got a slight nerf. Now it's getting a set bonus to buff it. And your 4 set is that Swift Mend heals 4 nearby allies for 25% of its healing done. So it's going to give you additional AoE healing. It's going to be a massive single target heal with some AoE splash healing. I'm not sure if they're trying to make Swift Mend a button that you care about pressing in PvE or something like that, because it seems like that might be the problem in PvE, is just you don't really care about it. You just want to roll your hots. Not too sure. But in PvP, that's going to make Swift Mend really nuts. It's just going to already have direct synergy with the existing build for Resto Druid, so you're a big winner. Resto Druid and Priest Healers, they seem to be like the big winners for set bonuses in terms of PvP, although we still don't know what stats are on this gear. If there's no versatility on this gear, these pieces the set bonuses might not outweigh the loss of versatility, especially if your set bonuses are weak sauce and not too good. You might not even interact with this gear. So we have to wait and see what stats are on the gear. And again, if you want to stay up to date with that news, stay in the know, the now, pique your interest in the future, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow me live on twitch.tv/Supatease. I'm streaming every day at 11 a.m. We're doing viewer games. I've helped out a ton of people climb the ladder, get to their ranks in PvP. So if you're interested in having somebody to play with, or you're struggling to find people in LFG, come to my channel. We're growing there every day, and you'll be able to have a good time. But other than that, thank you very much for watching the video, and I will see you in the next one.